I don't care. I don't care what anybody says. The evidence has already been presented. We have some of the most unsecured elections in the world. First things first, there are no consequences for when people are caught committing fraud. Also, because we don't audit, we don't know when someone is committing fraud at all. This video right here is a perfect example of all these gaping holes that people take advantage of by the hundreds of thousands in every election. And I'm starting to think that maybe the American population is not even 325. The American population might only be around 200 million, maybe 220. But there's been so much fraud on both sides, creating fake people so that they can get higher numbers. We might think that we have 100 million more, or more, might have over 100 million more or plus Americans that don't even exist, but they only exist to commit election fraud. So our population might be substantially smaller than we think. But let's just take a listen.
County woman facing felony election charges for allegedly casting a ballot on behalf of her dog.
KCAL's Hunter Sowards has the bizarre details.
The woman from Costa Mesa is accused of posting photos to her social media showing a ballot with her dog's name on it. She's also accused of sharing with her followers that the dog kept receiving mail-in ballots even after the dog died.
So the only reason she got caught is because she snitched on herself. Had she not told on herself online with multiple posts, no one would have known that she and her dog, she had registered her dog to vote, and her dog had successfully voted in elections. Now, if a woman can get a dog to vote, real dog, but a dog doesn't have any proof that they exist. So a dog is basically a fake person. If you can get one fake person, why couldn't you make 100? Why can't you make 1,000? See, the thing is, after you win the election, no one goes back and does an audit. And what we learned in 2020, even if they do an audit, they're not going to upseat the person who won the fake election. They're not going to make them leave, and then the person who should have won is going to take over. That's not how it works. No matter how much fraud they find, we learned that in 2020. Our elections are not secure. It's all fake. Like Trump said last time, he had to win so big that we would beat the fraud. That was a huge task in itself. We have no idea who's voting. There's no auditing. When you try to go back and find, Nick Shirley just did a video about California with election fraud. Hundreds of people registered to one PO box at a UPS store. It's just all fake elections. So that's why they think that we have a supermajority Democrats in California, and we don't. It's all just fraud. This entire country, our entire world, all built on fraud. All smoke and mirrors. And then you got one person like Trump trying to pull back the mask so that we can see what's really going on. And every attack from every gay or black website in the country attacking Trump 24/7. Everything gay or liberal attacking Trump. They don't want us to know the truth. People are registering their dogs, probably their goldfish, probably their cats. And don't get me started on the dead relatives that have been dead for 50, 60 years. And they're registering them to vote. And there's nobody to do an audit to go make sure these people are alive or really did the votes. But that's why we have to do voter ID the day of. When you show up, we have to know it's you. You have your identification. You're there in person. We cannot do mail-in ballots. We can't trust this. People are going to do the right thing. The whole honor system is fake. It's bullshit and it doesn't work. The thing is this. If there is fraud in your elections, that nullifies your right to vote. That means you can't vote. If fraud is allowed in your elections, your vote doesn't count. You're not voting. The fraud is happening. Your vote, the will of the people is removed. Once you allow fraud, you no longer have the right to vote. So you have to keep that in mind.
a social media post at the center of an investigation by the Orange County DA's office, accusing 62-year-old Laura Urex of illegally registering her dog to vote and trying to cast ballots in her dog's name in the 2021 recall election and the 2022 primary. She's even accused of posting this picture of her dog, Maya Jean, with an I voted sticker.
My initial reaction.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I love boxers. It's a cute dog. And I'm sad that the dog passed away. But your pup cannot vote. I have 3 rescue dogs here right now, and they all support Trump. I know this because they like freedom, they like dog treats, and they hate when illegal dogs come over here and take their jobs. So they're definitely conservative dogs. But that doesn't mean that we can, circumvent the law and do fake votes. Because what that does is that means that other real people who vote, their votes are tossed out. It doesn't matter. It like kind of just, they kind of disintegrate each other. They're not even there anymore. And that defeats, that means there is no integrity in the elections. That means it's all fake nonsense. And everyone's trying to convince me that there's no fraud. Yes, the hell there is. I'm in Arizona right now. My ex-girlfriend, when I had to, I was driving back from LA, and it was the day we had the vote. And she took my ballot in there, and she had my ID, and she was like, oh, here goes, I want to cast a ballot for my boyfriend too. And the lady just took it. And she was like, you don't need his ID or nothing. And she looked at her and said, no, we don't need anything. Like, we're going to go into the back with this ballot, and we're going to decide whether we want to count it or not based on who he's going to vote for. They wanted no proof. She could have brought in 20,000 ballots in a bag like fucking Santa Claus, and they would have just took the bag from her and said, thank you, ma'am. Have a nice day. They would not have asked for any proof that she's working for an agency, doing harvesting, or any idea. Nothing. But you want me to believe that we have the right to vote? How? If fraud is allowed, we don't have the right to vote. None of us do. None of us are voting. None of our votes are counted. It's just fraud. It's fake.
Action is, thank goodness this is rare, and that's why it makes the news.
Getting caught is rare. Somebody being dumb enough to post about their dog voting is rare. But the real fraudsters are not making these posts. What's rare is getting caught, not actually doing the crime.
CBS legal analyst Jessica Levinson weighs in on the investigation that started in October of 2024 after the Orange County DA says Urex reported herself to the registrar's office.
This is serious. People should not commit fraud in elections. Our entire we the people depends on the idea that only the people who can't.
Did she just say we should not? We should not? You fucking, what kind of news person is this? How about we cannot? As in, there's so many security protocols in place that we could not commit fraud, even if we tried, because obviously my dog does not have an official state-issued ID. My dog is not a person who can show up and vote on his own. Not that we can't, but we shouldn't, but we can't, even if we want to. We cannot fraudulently vote. That means that there's zero security. Nothing. I paid my water bill the other day. I needed an ID just to pay the freaking water bill. But it's racist to ask for it. So it's not racist to ask for me for ID to pay the water bill, but it's racist for an ID to vote. Even though people are registering their dogs and their imaginary friend, fucking Drop Dead Fred is voting in the elections, but asking for identification is wrong. Only the scammers, only the people that live in this country, but they're not Americans. They're born here, they have legal citizenship, but they're not Americans. Those are the ones pushing for the fraud, begging for the fraud, doing whatever they can to help circumvent our laws and our way of life so that they can get their agenda pushed through. It's crazy. I see these people, they cheated for the Democrats back in 2020. To this day, we're all still wondering, what benefits did they get? They had with more access to abortions. Well, what did you get from Biden? The vax mandate that gave you cancer and gave you a heart attack. You were in such a hurry to vote for Democrats so that you can die. You know you can die under Republicans too. You don't need to wait for a Democrat to be in office. If you have these issues where you want to self-delete, you don't got to wait until Trump's out of office. Like no one's stopping you. I still don't understand why these people, it was especially a lot of black people in Georgia. That's why we just hit Fulton and with the election fraud stuff, and we're going through all the ballots. They were literally switching ballots so Kamala would win. Kamala gets in and doesn't do shit for them except kill them. So that's why I'm like, these people are idiots and they're wrong. No, we're not going to allow them to keep committing fraud. And it just means that our country's a joke. We're not serious. The fact that this can even happen, but we're supposed to be an advanced country. Did you know the elections in Somalia and Mogadishu, they're more secure than the American elections? But the fraudsters come to the United States and tell us that we should have less secure elections than they do over in their country of Somalia. This is just unbelievable.
And register to vote, do register to vote.
Another post reads, Maya is still getting her ballot. The good news is Sammy is apparently off voting rolls. Investigators say your ex is referring to her dog Maya, still getting ballots in the mail even after the dog died. The bizarre voting debacle playing out over 2 elections. In order to cast a ballot in a state election, the only thing required is an affidavit of registration, paperwork that asks for things like a name, address, and political preference, but does not require proof. The dog's ballot was accepted in the state recall election.
When it comes to proving that you're somebody who is actually eligible to vote, the California laws are slightly different from the federal laws.
In federal elections, a first-time voter must show proof of residence. The dog's federal ballot was rejected in the 2022 primary race. We went to Costa Mesa hoping to ask your ex questions about the situation. We were not able to speak to her. Your ex is facing 5 felonies, including perjury, procuring or offering a false or forged document to be filed, 2 felony counts of casting a ballot when not entitled to vote, and registering a non-existent person to vote. If convicted on all charges, she is facing up to 6 years in prison. We reached out to Governor Gavin Newsom for comment on this story. He referred us to the Secretary of State's office. Your ex is due in court this Tuesday. Reporting in Costa Mesa, Hunter.
Yeah, it's not like Gavin, the dog voted against his recall. Obviously, he doesn't want the fraud to stop. See, he plays dumb. He says he can't read. The guy obviously knows what he's doing. He's in favor of all the fraud, all the fake elections, basically everything being unsecured, no IDs. He's literally pushing for everything that is illegal, just so they can just maintain power in California. But they're not going to be able to sustain it for long because it's too much fraud. And now that we're actually doing auditing and we're actually going through and making sure people have IDs to vote, and we're not just letting illegals and fucking dogs vote, well, now the Democrats are losing pretty much everything. For one thing, the vaccine mandates killed, we're looking at 10 million in California, majority are black. Millions of black people are dead. So they're no longer voting Democrats in California. They're no longer voting. Everyone I know who's black has lost 5 to 10 family members in the past year, all from the vaccine. It's all the same death, heart attack, cancer, turbo out the blue. And they're all just dying in mass from the age of 30 to the age of 60, just dropping every day in California. So when you're looking at, okay, the Democrats literally deleted their own voter base of blacks. All they had left besides the illegals were gays, and the vaccine's catching up with the gays. It just didn't kill them as fast because a lot of the gays take estrogen. And remember, the vaccine is testosterone reactive. So if you're taking an estrogen regimen, being because you're gay, you want the higher voice and some of the features, that slows down the progress of what was in the injection. But if you're just a straight regular guy, it'll amplify it. Black men obviously have the most elevated testosterone levels of all humans. That's why you see so many of them dying on the news, your favorite celebrities, actors, rappers, comedians, dropping like flies. So now you're looking at, so the Democrats' plan was to replace the blacks with the illegals. And that's not happening because, well, we've closed the border and we're deporting the flying fuck out of them. So the Democrats are in trouble. And then to maintain the fraud is going to be very, very difficult going forward. in California, in the rest of the country. And that's the America First agenda. We are going to restore law and order. We're going to make sure our elections are secure, and we're going to bring back voting integrity. We're not going to let these people scam us and steal from us anymore. But, you know, I'm not going to say everything they did was bad. I mean, there are some benefits. Crime's down 60%. I guess that's good for something. I mean, crime's down and rents are going down. So what that means is that California is losing a lot of people. But yeah, besides the deportations, nobody's moving. These people are being buried. And nobody wants to talk about it but me. Subscribe to the channel and I will talk to you about the vaccine, the people it's killing, and how it works and how you can predict who's going to die next. I have a whole thing that I've proven. I can tell you when people are going to be dying from it based off of when the mandate ended back in December 11th of 2021. Remember when Biden said where his patience is wearing thin? That was true. But that vaccine has killed so many Americans that certain states are losing congressional seats. Their population is dropping. See, the 13% is right now roughly 9%. In the next 2 years, it'll get down to about 5% and then to 3% before it kind of settles there. But there is no rate of replacement because it sterilizes you and abortion's a part of the culture. There's no replacing. You guys have no idea what's really going on. But the good thing is you can follow my channel. You can like my videos, talk to me, and I'll keep you up to date. So like and subscribe. Make sure your neighbors or your relatives who are Democrats are not allowing their dogs, cats, and ferrets to vote. It's America first, America only. Subscribe to the channel. I'll be back on live in about 20 minutes with another subject.
I've been needing to find a new apartment, which has not been easy with credit as bad as mine. Luckily, I found cosigning.com. They connected me with a cosigner who helped me get my dream apartment for me and my dog. I just paid a small fee and was able to move in fast. Get the cosigner you need for the apartment you want. Check out cosigning.com today.